I'll ask you to do the pledge.
Huh?
I'll ask you to do the pledge.
Sure.
Do you need a script?
Let me look it up. Now that Larry's here.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the most fun meeting of the month. We are reconvening in open session following closed session, and I will ask the clerk to take roll and establish the continued presence of a quorum.
Good afternoon. Supervisor Arenas is absent. Supervisor Chavez is absent. Supervisor Simidian? Vice President Lee?
Present.
And President Ellenberg?
I'm here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Lee, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Would you please rise? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We are going to move to public comment, which is the portion of the agenda set aside for members of the public wishing to speak to the board on items not on the agenda, but within the purview of the Board of Supervisors. Do we have any public speakers, Dave?
No, Madam Chair, we had public comment earlier this afternoon. This should be item number 7 at this point.
Correct. Thank you very much. Item 7, in fact, is to consider recommendations relating to certificates of appreciation, commendation, and proclamations. The first, A, is to be presented by Supervisor Chavez, who I know will be joining us, but I am going to hold on A and move to B, which is to adopt a commendation for the Department of Child Support Services for the 2023 Outstanding Program of the Year, as awarded by the California Child Support Directors Association. And Dr. Smith, who is doing that presentation?
Madam Chair, excuse the interruption, point of order. I think it will facilitate matters if I simply move item 7, which is all of the items.
All over the place today, aren't you?
And then we could adopt items 7A through H, which would then authorize us to present them.
What an excellent idea, Supervisor Simidian.
We work
Let's
in
do that.
tandem. And I will move approval of item 7.
I'll second.
Thank you both very much. Let's vote on item 7.
Supervisor Simidian?
Aye.
Vice President Lee?
Aye.
And President Ellenberg?
Yes,
Thank you. That passes 3-0.
and Supervisor Chavez has joined us, so
Thank you. Yes from Supervisor Chavez. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
And having stalled, I believe that now facilitates the presentation of item 8A, Madam Chair.
I think I got it from here, but
There you
thank you
go.
very much for the boost, Supervisor Simidian. Hello, everyone. We are now going to present a commendation to Derecka Mehrens for her unwavering commitment and dedication to improving the working conditions, wages, and quality of life for families throughout the United States. Yay. And that will be presented by Supervisor Chavez.
Derecka, come on up. Let's give her a big round of applause. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sorry, Paul. How are you doing? So, in January of this year, Derecka Mehrens stepped down as the Executive Director of Working Partnerships USA. Derecka is the daughter of a union construction worker and a community college teacher, and is focused on encouraging civic engagement in low-income communities of color, pushing for policy changes like fiscal reform, encouraging upward mobility, and improving the health and safety of all workers. Derecka has been with Working Partnerships since 2008. Yikes. And in 2013, Derecka was named Executive Director. She was instrumental in the successful 2012 campaign to raise the minimum wage in San Jose. You guys, that's amazing. Yeah, let's say that. And truly, but for her, we would not have run that campaign. And when we did, 40,000 people in San Jose got a raise. She oversaw the creation of Silicon Valley Rising, a coordinated regional campaign to inspire an inclusive tech-driven economy that has already helped over 5,500. What? Let me fix my notes. 10,000 service workers in the tech industry for better wages and working conditions. Under her leadership, yeah, okay, go ahead, you guys. This is a time to celebrate. During her tenure, Working Partnership's nonpartisan civic engagement programs registered more than 14,000 voters and built an organizing base of 40,000 residents across our region. The coalition she's led have organized more than 10,000 new union members, won more than $1 billion in new revenue for affordable housing, raised the minimum wage in 8 cities, impacting over 250,000 workers, and achieved long-term structural reforms in our community that have changed the course and lives of people from all of our community, particularly workers and people of color. You know, there are many things you can say about Derecka. She's brilliant, she's unyielding, she's an amazing, amazing friend. She's a great role model. And more than all of that, an incredible, incredible public servant and a role model to, oh, I'm getting all emotional, to many, many people. And an amazing mom. And I'm going to say probably a good wife, right, Doug? And somebody who I am just honored to be able to call a friend. Congratulations. Say a few words.
I'm going to be very quick. Thank you, Supervisor Chavez. This board is one of the most incredible board of supervisors in the county, in any region of the country. We are very lucky to have you all. And part of the reason we could do all this good work is because of the excellent and incredible elected officials we have in this county. And the team that we have at Working Partnerships and with the labor movement. Thank you for being here. And my husband always gets mad at me that I never thank him in events. This is the kind of event where I thank my husband. I love you.
We're going to take a picture with you. We're going to face that way. It's a little confusing. Face that way. Great. That's good work.
Item B is to present a commendation for Department of Child Support Services for the 2023 Outstanding Program of the Year Award, as awarded by California Child Support Directors Association. And again, Supervisor Chavez, thank you.
If I can invite, there's somebody saying yay. That's awesome. If I could invite up Ignacio, and also, where's your team? Are they here with you?
No,
just you?
just me today, yeah.
Really? Oh, I wanted to say thank you to them too. Well, this is really, really exciting. And I'm going to read the whereases, which I don't normally do because this is sort of a big deal. Is that okay?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So whereas the County of Santa Clara's Department of Child Support Services provides important services that enable parents to be positive influences in the lives of their children, both financially and emotionally. And whereas dedicated staff in the Department of Child Support Services collected $89 million in federal fiscal year 2022 and continue to serve an average of more than 35,000 children annually. with an appreciation that each case represents a family in our community. And whereas the Department of Child Support Services has made tremendous effort to overcome formidable barriers and reinvent itself by focusing on performance data analytics, working smarter, and changing the culture of the department. And whereas for the month of April 2023, the Department of Child Support Services was ranked as the 10th best performing child support program in the state. We've never ranked. You deserve a round of applause. And these are based on federal standards. And whereas the county's Department of Child Support Services was presented with the 2023 Outstanding Program of the Year Award at the annual Child Support Services Directors Association's conference in May, this is the county's first time winning this award, which recognizes a local child support agency that has consistently exemplified providing quality child support services to its constituents in the community. And I just want to add one thing that many people don't know, which is this program is state funded, and the state has not increased funding for it for years and years and years. And so for the department to have lifted itself up with the leadership of Ignacio and other amazing leaders in the department to the work that they're doing is nothing short of a miracle. Congratulations. You want to say a few words?
Thank you very much. I'm Ignacio Guerrero. I'm the director for the Department of Child Support Services. I'm here representing our 150 staff that commit all their hard work and expertise and knowledge every day to serve the roughly 26,000 cases that we have here in Santa Clara County. Earlier this month, at the beginning of the month, we were surprised but very happy to receive the Outstanding Program of the Year by the Child Support Directors Association. So being recognized by our peers among all the counties in California is a big deal. But I wouldn't be here accepting this without the hard work of all of our staff and the dedication that they show every day in serving the children in Santa Clara County. So thank you very much. I also like to thank the Board of Supervisors and County Administration for their support. Thank you. Okay.
That's a big deal.
That's your whole team.
I am going to present item C, which is to present a proclamation declaring June 5th, 2023 as Family Reunification Day in Santa Clara County. And who is joining me up here? Welcome. I am going to do my very best to read this. Whereas for children in foster care, reunification with their families is the preferred outcome and best option for a permanent and loving home. Whereas every year, thousands of children are successfully reunified with their families nationally. Whereas all children need the care, love, security, and stability of family unity, including parents, siblings, grandparents, and other extended family members to provide a solid foundation for personal growth, development, and maturity. See, it's going back further and further. Whereas reunification takes work, commitment, and the investment of time and resources by parents, family members, social workers, resource families, service providers, attorneys, courts, and the community. Whereas 2010 marked the first National Reunification Day designated to celebrate families and communities coming together to acknowledge the hard work it takes to reunify a family and to raise awareness about the importance of family reunification to children in foster care. And whereas through a collaboration between the Superior Court, the Department of Family and Children's Services Dependency Advocacy Center, Legal Advocates for Children and Youth, Child Advocates of Silicon Valley, and the Office of the County Council, Santa Clara County is celebrating its 12th Family Reunification Day on June 5th, 2023, to acknowledge the unique efforts of our local families and communities. So now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Santa Clara does hereby proclaim June 5th, 2023 as Family Reunification Day.
Thank you very much, Supervisor. My name is Shona Schwarz, and I'm the Supervising Judge of Juvenile Dependency Court here in Santa Clara County. You know, usually when folks hear the initials CPS, they kind of freak out. And a lot of people don't understand it. I do a lot of training on juvenile dependency, child welfare, and the Juvenile Dependency Court. The easiest way to understand what we do is I tell people, if we take kids away, we're supposed to give them back. Our goal is to reunify families. And with a lot of hard work from the families and Wendy's folks, the social workers, we have a lot of success in our county. So thank you very much for acknowledging this. We have families who overcome tremendous obstacles and hardship and barriers from substance abuse issues, domestic violence issues, incarceration. And if they're willing to do the hard work and really focus on healing, they get their kids back. And we have a lot of success stories. Wendy?
Thank you, Judge. Wendy Kinner-Roush with Department of Family and Children's Services. We just left earlier today an event honoring 5 families this year for Family Reunification Day for their hard work and their dedication in reunifying. And thank you to the Board of Supervisors. Each of those families was honored with a plaque and really held to a high esteem for the hard work they've done to overcome all those challenges and to develop the circles of support and village around them to care for their kids. And as Judge said, there's nothing more honorable in this, is making sure that we support families and doing that hard work for themselves and putting their children first and doing that reunification. So thank you for this honor.
Thank you, Judge Schwartz, and thank you, Wendy, for your work. We'll do a photo too. Incredible, important. Congratulations. Thank you so much. So nice to see you too. All right. Item 7D is a commendation for Margarita Hodzik as she retires after 17 years of service to the County of Santa Clara. Is Margarita here? Yes, she is. Excellent. Welcome. Margarita Hodzik has retired from the Social Services Agency, I'm having a day, Department of Employment and Benefits Services after 17 years of exemplary service to Santa Clara County. She served SSA DEBs in a wide variety of roles, and throughout her career, she earned 8 promotions, leaping from entry level to middle management to executive management, always sharing her knowledge in policy, customer service, and administration. Margarita played a pivotal role in the implementation of the Affordable Care Act, an historic change that made health care coverage more available for so many people. Drawing from her previous experience in the Benefit Service Center, where she earned the nickname Medi-Cal Queen for her expertise in all things Medi-Cal, she spearheaded the implementations of healthcare reform for the county. As a result, the Medi-Cal caseload increased by 71%, representing, representing over 115,000 individuals gaining health coverage. That is tremendous. Margareta embodies the SSA values of serve, empower, and transform in her own life. Compelled by a devastating war to flee from her beloved homeland in Yugoslavia, current-day Bosnia, Margareta left a thriving career as an editor in public television. After emigrating to the U.S. and utilizing food stamps, CalFresh, and Medi-Cal to help gain stability for her young family, Margareta found success working for a tech company. However, to the great benefit of Santa Clara County, she left that role to follow her passion for public service and policy. Her work here has been deeply felt throughout the county and throughout her distinguished career. It is my honor to award you with this commendation and invite you to say a few words.
First of all, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to the members of the board for this honor. It was actually been my great honor to work for the county, especially for Social Services Agency. As you've heard, I have a first-hand experience what does mean to receive public benefits when you really need it. I also was very fortunate to work with so many dedicated individuals who devoted their careers and life to public service. So I want to thank them all for supporting me in my role and for helping residents of the county when they need it. Thank you so much.
I told you these are the most fun meetings of the month. Item 7E is to present a commendation to Jill Sproul as she retires after 33 years of service to the County of Santa Clara. Hi, Jill. I'm so excited. 33 years ago, July, Jill Sproul began her career with the Santa Clara Valley Medical Center as a clinical nurse 1 in the burn center. She quickly grew to become a highly skilled and knowledgeable burn nurse and was promoted to the position of burn center nurse manager on June 30th, 1997. Jill has partnered with the San Jose Firefighters Burn Foundation to support the recovery of the burn survivors in our community, developed a re-entry program for child burn survivors, created a retreat for adult burn survivors, and established a peer training program for burn survivors. She has also shown her commitment to the burn center and nursing profession by serving as a board member for the American Burn Association, Phoenix Society, and World Burn Congress, and was promoted to the position of Chief Nursing Officer on April 10th, 2017. Jill is retiring after 33 years of dedicated service and consistently demonstrating that patients are the priority. Her leadership and compassion as a nurse, caregiver, and human being have set the standard for the critical profession of nursing and the particular physical and emotional challenges of treating patients with excruciating injuries, and inspires her colleagues daily. I'll add a quick personal note here that Jill was one of the first nurses I met after joining the Board of Supervisors on my first official tour of Valley Med. We quickly bonded over burn care and the treatment of patients, as I shared that my father was the director of a regional burn trauma center, also founded a camp for children who were survivors of burn injuries, developed new care techniques, and similarly to Jill, dedicated his entire profession to this work. I feel that I know well how taxing and how invaluable this work is, and I'm so grateful to you, Jill, for the work you've done and the leadership you have exhibited. On behalf of the Board of Supervisors, it is my great pleasure to ask you to accept this recommendation of outstanding service on behalf of the Board of Supervisors. Thank you. That's all yours. Jill, did you want to speak? We leapt right to the photos.
Well, those who know me, I always have something to say. So
I'm just going to go take a seat. You take your time.
I'll be quick. I just want to, gosh, the support in this room is phenomenal. And thank you. Where's Paul? Paul was in here earlier. A big thank you to Paul, who's my boss, my kids, that's my boss, who took a chance on me as a CNO. And then Dr. Karanis, who's here. I don't know if anyone else from the burn team is here. But I spent the majority of my career in the burn center, and so like some of my best memories are from the burn center. I want to thank the nurses, and I know there's several nurses in here, the nurse managers and nursing directors, that during this pandemic, operations was really on their shoulders. So I'd like to thank every nurse in here, and then the frontline staff that are not here too. It's really been an honor and a privilege to be the CNO and 20-something years in the burn center. So thank you very much. I do it every time. I forgot to thank my husband every time. And I have to say, I couldn't have spent all this time at work if it wasn't for him, like holding down the fort. And I love you and my kids. I dragged them here. So thank you very much. Thank you all.
Item F is to present a commendation for Macario Gaming as he retires after 33 years of service to the County of Santa Clara. And this will be presented by Dr. Smith.
Macario, come on up. Hi, how you doing? Nice to see you. Stand right here while I embarrass you. So we're losing some great people today to retirement, and Macario is one of them. Macario, also known as Maki, has been an exemplary employee in the facilities and fleet department since 1989, 33 years. Maki's journey began as a janitor supervisor, where he demonstrated his commitment to excellence and went on to work above and beyond everything that was expected of him to ensure that county facilities were maintained at the highest standard. In 2018, Maki's exceptional skills and leadership qualities led to his promotion to the department's custodial services manager. In this role, he undertook the responsibility of ensuring that all county employees worked in environments where outstanding janitorial services were consistently provided. However, it was during the unprecedented challenges of COVID-19 that Maki was really able to shine. His tireless efforts in providing disinfectant and special cleaning played a pivotal role in minimizing the health risk for essential workers. Maki's dedication and professionalism are nothing short of remarkable. Throughout his impressive 33-year career, Maki has exemplified the qualities of the county and the values of professionalism, service to the community, and dedication and unwavering commitment to his community and colleagues. His friendly and energetic spirit has not only fostered a positive working environment, but has also served as an inspiration for all those who work with him. Maki's integrity and mutual respect have earned him the admiration of his staff. Please join me in congratulating Maki on his retirement and thanking him for 33 years of fabulous service to the community. There's your award. You want to say something?
Wow, it's 33 years. Jill, I remember you. We're doing it together. Lynn, congratulations to you also. FAL, thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support and everything you've done for me, helping me broaden the horizon for a lot of different people and going forward throughout the county. Everyone's played a part in what I've gone through and what I've done, and helped me watch my kids grow up, those who know them. FAL, thank you very much, heart and soul. Anything for you guys, I'm always there, and you know it. County, it was a pleasure to serve the county and to all of you, and to being with you and doing what I can, leaving you guys in good hands. Thank you, Edwin, Vanessa, Christine, and all of the custodial staff that's here today. I appreciate it. Thank you to the board and the supervisors and everybody else. Thank you very much. Congratulations on your time. Thank you.
You guys want to come down? You're in the center.
I'm in the center.
Take care.
Item 8G is to present a commendation for Lin Ortega as he retires after 33 years of service to the County of Santa Clara.
Lynn, where are you? There. Hey, Lynn. So who started, you or Maki first?
He started first.
He started
By 6 months.
by 6 months, okay. Well, Lynn also is from the Facilities and Fleet Department. He's our deputy director, and he has been dedicated for 33 years with impressive service for the County of Santa Clara. Lynn's career began in 1990 when he joined the department as an electric repair technician. Throughout the years, he consistently demonstrated his expertise and commitment to excellence, leading to his role as the Utilities Engineer Program Manager in 2021. In this capacity, Lin was instrumental in the development and implementation of approximately 39 megawatts of renewable energy projects. Created the projects that created the energy. Including solar, fuel cells, energy storage systems, and energy efficient initiatives. Combined value of approximately $150 million. Thanks to Lin's visionary work in the field of renewable energy and sustainability, the county now operates on 100% renewable electricity. This achievement not only showcases the county's commitment to environmental stewardship, but also translates into substantial savings of millions of dollars in electrical costs. It is a testament to Lin's exceptional leadership that the EPA has ranked our county 8th for the most renewable energy use by a local government, 8th in the entire country. Following his impactful tenure as the Utilities Engineer Program Manager, Lin assumed the role of Deputy Director, where he displayed exemplary management skills and effectively oversaw the operations and maintenance of county facilities. Beyond his professional achievements, Lin is known for his unwavering optimism and selfless mentorship. He has generously shared his knowledge and guidance with countless colleagues and staff, both professionally and on a personal level. Lin's mentorship has been a source of information, our inspiration and growth for all those who are fortunate enough to cross his path. Please join me in congratulating Lin and on his retirement and commending him for 33 years of service. Good job.
I think I'm going to keep it short. I just want to say thank you to all of my coworkers, my colleagues, for sticking with me, for helping me throughout all these years. I can honestly say that none of these accomplishments that Dr. Smith just mentioned would have been possible without your support. Also, I want to thank the leadership within FAF and County Executive's Office for all of the support as well, for the encouragement, and certainly the board, members of the board, for always encouraging us to do more renewable, more clean energy, find ways to save energy for the county. It's been an honor, a privilege for me to serve all of these 33 years. I consider myself very lucky to have served in various capacities throughout these years. And I'm going to miss the camaraderie, the friendships, the relationships for sure, no question about it. But it's also time for someone else to come in and bring in some new ideas as well. So thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're here. Don't run away. Everybody's coming down.
Item 9 is to present certificates of appreciation to Employee Excellent Award honorees for June 2023 Presenting today will be the county's Chief Operating Officer, Greta Hansen. If you are one of the 7 honorees today, please come on up and take a seat on the raised area here.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Come on down, award recipients. Each month, through the Employee Excellence Awards, we recognize county employees for their contribution to their departments and the community. I'm honored to lead this presentation and introduce our Excellence Award recipients for this month. Today, we will hear inspiring stories about our colleagues from the County Executive's Office, Probation Department, Department of Correction, District Attorney's Office, Social Services Agency, County Health System, and Roads and Airports Department. So let's begin our ceremony, and thank you for joining me up here at the dais. For our audience members, thank you for being here to support our honorees. Whether you are work colleagues, family, or friends of the award recipients, please feel free to clap, cheer, wave giant images of them in the air, and show your support as we make each presentation. So for each award, I will call your name, and you can come stand beside me so I can read something that your department provided about why you are being recognized today. And then you'll step behind me and to my left for Supervisor Ellenberg to present the award to you and to pose for a photo. And then you'll return to your seat, and at the end, we'll take a big group photo with the full board. So we will start with Sean Ward from the County Executive's Office. Hi, Sean. Nice to see you. Sean is a senior management analyst in the Office of Diversion and Reentry Services. His approach to public service strikes the balance between passion and efficiency. His key strength is his initiative. He's a problem solver, making fixes before issues escalate to management. He's also demonstrated his ability to catch things that others might miss, making him an ideal second set of eyes to vet legislative files and reports for the team. Sean is a leader, the go-to analyst for complex projects, and an adept facilitator. He is leading an effort to create a fully operating cafeteria here at 70 West Heading that also functions as a culinary training program for justice-involved people. He's done model work with the Office of Education to establish a diploma program. He's skilled in taking on such complex tasks and smoothly getting them off the ground. Sean is fair and friendly, yet firm with contractors. They know he will hold them accountable for their obligations. He's also a leader among staff, often driving conversations and helping solve problems. Thank you for all you do, Sean, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Next up is Tom Webster. Hi, Tom. And Tom's fan club. Tom is a deputy probation officer. He upholds the county's commitment to serving justice-involved youth through a focused attention and dedication to making sure kids and their families get the wraparound care they need. Tom is in the Family Preservation Unit and coordinates with county departments and partner agencies that provide vital services to our youth. He regularly goes above and beyond what's expected. For example, a girl in her early teens recently was admitted to juvenile hall. Given her circumstances and young age, Tom worked diligently and beyond his work hours to secure a referral with one of our wraparound agencies. As a result, Tom was able to have 3 support staff present for this youth and her parents at her detention hearing. Due to his efforts, she was released from custody with a full support team in place for her and her family. While Tom handles a large volume of work, he nevertheless consistently finds ways to help others in the department. His willingness to assist and train colleagues and his commitment to work are unequaled. Thank you, Tom. Very well deserved. Next up, we have Justin Weiss. Deputy Justin Weiss is a correctional officer with the Sheriff's Office who, in his 4 years of service, has developed a reputation as a hard worker and a go-to partner for his colleagues. Deputy Weiss is assigned to the maximum security floor of the main jail, supervising some of the most challenging inmates in the facility. He is a model correctional officer, displaying a professionalism and respectful demeanor when interacting with inmates as well as his colleagues. Deputy Weiss also took the added responsibility as an emergency response team leader. That leadership was tested in a critical incident in the jail in March when an inmate suffered a major medical emergency. He was the first to respond and was fast to perform critical life-saving medical measures on the inmate. He's well deserving of this recognition, and we commend him for his dedication and integrity in serving the Sheriff's Office and the county. Congratulations, Deputy Weiss. Next up is Robert Philbrook. No Robert Philbrook. Okay, I'm going to read this about him anyway. Deputy District Attorney Robert Bobby Philbrook is an excellent trial attorney and one of the anchors of the sexual assault team within the District Attorney's Office. Bobby, who first joined the DA's office as an intern in 2011, is a fearless advocate for the county's most vulnerable crime victims. He has successfully handled some of the most heart-wrenching sexual assault cases, regularly obtaining guilty pleas and verdicts. Bobby is known for his jovial demeanor, which has earned him the nickname Happy Bobby. When assigned a particularly difficult case, he responds with a smile and a hearty, "Thanks, boss." The weight of responsibility of these cases have not blunted his optimism, and his enthusiasm for trial work is refreshing and contagious, lifting up the entire team. The District Attorney's Office and the entire community are better for his strong work ethic, humility, and pursuit of justice. Congratulations, Bobby. Next up is Jimena Alfonso. Jimena Alfonso is an eligibility work supervisor in the Social Service Agency's Foster Care Bureau, ensuring her team accurately provides benefits to families with foster youth. She has been a model employee from the moment she joined the Bureau. She is kind and respectful, thoroughly knowledgeable, and consistently takes the initiative to improve the workplace. One of her greatest strengths is her natural leadership ability, which made a huge impact during the agency's transition to the California statewide automated welfare system. She leads by example and inspires her team to perform at their highest level with her positive attitude and infectious enthusiasm. She creates a positive work environment by promoting collaboration and cooperation. She truly embodies SSA's vision to serve, empower, and transform. Her contributions are felt throughout the Foster Care Bureau. Her nomination for this Employee Excellence Award comes not from any individual, but from countless grateful colleagues who are eager to recognize her for her extraordinary contributions. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next up is Maria Elena Aranda. As the sole social worker in a clinic supporting multiple medical specialties, Maria Elena has displayed an unparalleled commitment to excellence for over 34 years. She extends her care to each patient she sees at Valley Health Center Milpitas, ensuring they feel valued and attended to. However, it is Maria Elena's efforts in a recent case that exemplify her extraordinary character. Today, because of Maria Elena's intervention, a blind man can see. A blind patient, burdened by an insurance issue stemming from an identity error, was denied access to ophthalmologists for years. Recognizing the patient's language and literacy barriers, Maria Elena dedicated countless hours to rectifying the matter. Her perseverance prevailed, and she not only resolved the issues with insurance, but also coordinated transportation, wrote appointments in bold letters for the patient, and tirelessly collaborated with providers until the patient finally received the necessary eye surgery. Maria Elena sets an example for us all, reminding us that the greatest reward in life lies in lending a helping hand to those in need. Thank you for everything you do, and congratulations. Next up is Cynthia Murray, who I think might not be with us. Okay. I will still read this about her because it's wonderful too. Throughout her 24-year career at St. Louis Regional Hospital and now with Santa Clara Valley Healthcare, Cynthia has demonstrated extraordinary leadership skills, compassionate patient care, and an unrelenting work ethic that sets her apart. Cynthia has played a pivotal role in driving operational efficiency, improving patient outcomes, and fostering a culture of excellence. Her efforts in increasing surgery volume and introducing new service lines have allowed the hospital to serve our community better. What truly distinguishes Cynthia is her unwavering commitment to her patients and her team. She leads by example, always prioritizing the needs of others above her own. Her strong work ethic, attention to detail, and collaborative spirit have earned her the respect and admiration of her colleagues. Cynthia's passion for nursing, caregiving, and public service extends beyond the workplace. She actively volunteers in the community, advocating for Earth Day and participating in community cleanup projects. Her commitment to positively impacting the world around her is truly commendable. Congratulations, Cynthia. Next up is Daniel Fernandez. Daniel is the Material Supply Specialist for the Roads and Airports Road and Signal Operations Division. He is one of the hardest working members of his team, understanding the department's mission to keep county roads safe for the traveling public. His customer service is exceptional. He ensures that when department staff leave the road maintenance yard, that they have all the tools and materials they need for the day. He also makes sure that all staff have what they need to respond to any emergency. He is accountable, dependable, and cares deeply about his work. He understands the county's ever-changing procurement policies, that makes one of us, and makes sure the department funds are spent efficiently. He is organized and communicates regularly with staff about the inventory and tools and equipment. He always has his ears open to address needs and is a huge asset for his department and the county. Thank you and congratulations. And we have one final awardee who also couldn't join us today, and I just want to briefly recognize Henry Chan Tuong, who's a janitor in the Facilities and Fleet Department for the past 16 years. Henry is self-driven, humble, compassionate, and hardworking. And is beloved by his colleagues at the Charcot campus. They are inspired by his humility, kindness, and unwavering commitment to exceptional customer service. Congratulations, Henry. So now all of the award recipients can come up and take a picture with the full board.
Squeeze it back here. As we reach item 10, I will adjourn to the Board of Supervisors meeting on Tuesday, June 6, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. in the Board of Supervisors Chambers, County Government Center, 70 West Heading Street, San Jose. See some of you tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening.